Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we are still working with this our Pak Man, who is in severe depression, 68 years old, and you know the background. He has two daughters who are staying in our station, and one son have already migrated overseas. And we have discussed about his activity scheduling in the day, and every week as we meet, we have his new range of activity scheduling, and we see his progress in terms of what he is doing and how he's doing. So what's important is that we want to again remind, we elicit from the aspect of his physical or biological aspect first, in terms of his need for exercise, in terms of need for sleep, diet, all right? And then we look at how we can reduce his depression by giving some mental activities. And then we develop his social network. There's in P, M, E, and an S. At the highest level is spiritual. So as I told you, when we have a person like Pak Man who never practiced Islam, even though he's Muslim in name, we have to be very careful. For those who have practiced Islam, for example, in their younger days, then in the teenager days, they practice Islam, or maybe before they're teenagers, up to the age of 12, they practice Islam. After that, they never practice until now at 68. It is much easier because they have reminiscent of their practice of Islam. Especially so if they have practiced Islam until they are working, and then because of the work pressure, they gave up. First they gave up not praying, and in the end they're not praying at all until 68 years old. It's much easier. There is reminiscence of their activity as a Muslim in terms of prayer, in terms of Friday Jum'ah, in terms of fasting and so on. But I'm taking an extreme case of Pak Man, who is a nominal Muslim, most probably agnostic, because he was never brought up as a Muslim in his way of life. That means his parents also were agnostic. They were just traditionally named with Muslim names, but they never go to Quran school, they never go to Islamic training and so on, not to ustads and so on, but maybe they have some idea of, for example, the Shahada, maybe some idea of the Fatiha, and nothing more than that. Alright? And maybe some of them may fast 1 or 2 days in the month of Ramadan. Some of them don't, and only they pray during the P.3 or Adha, just following the motion. So there are, I'm not creating this story. If they did a survey in, for example, practicing Muslims all over the world, we have only about 30% of Muslims practicing, all right, and only 20% practicing the 5 times daily prayer, about 20%. So every 100 Muslim, you have 20% only who are practicing Muslim. The other 80% could be on the borderline. Once in a while they pray, sometimes they don't pray. And the very extreme case, just like Pak Man, brought up as Muslim in name, but never knew what Islam is. So in that situation, you tread along very carefully to bring this idea of spirituality, the idea of prayer and so on, will be your last stage of counseling your client. Because if you try to come very early, you may break him. So I'm trying to tell you that now we have assuming theoretically we have already gone to 5 to 7 sessions now. So I'm not going to the 3rd session, I'm going to the 7th session now. And then his daily activity sheet, he's giving me his daily activity sheet, and we see some progress. And we work on his physical requirement in terms of his exercise, sleep, diet, his mental requirement in terms of some other mental activities apart from just watching TV, and then the social network they are going to build for him. So this behavioral activation is very important in terms of the step you need to take. And you must have some experience of how to go about with it. I'm just giving you a video on the role play. But this is enough to give you some pointers of how to go about in terms of the physical realm, mental realm, emotional realm, and spiritual realm, bio, psycho, social. All right? So this is the model. CBT is bio, psycho, social. Islamic, bio, psycho, social, spiritual. So you can see how beautiful our therapeutic approach in terms of PI-CBT, Positive Islamic Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Using the CBT template, we upgrade the CBT template so that our counseling and coaching and our counseling program will be very holistic and integrative. Okay, so now I'm going to play the role play again, and we are talking about Pak Man, and he has gone through 7 sessions already. I'm going to shortcut. All right, then I'm going to play around on the P, M, and E, but not on the S. But I'll find an opportunity for me to come into this at a later video, inshallah. So this is, all right, my hanky representing him, and this is me. Okay. Assalamualaikum Pak Man, how are you? Alhamdulillah, I'm good, fine. All right. So activity scheduling now. I've seen your activity scheduling now. Okay, Alhamdulillah, that's good. I see that you have made some progress, okay, of your activity, but I still see that you are spending a lot of time watching TV, and your rating here is that you enjoy TV at 3. So the scale of 1 to 10, you just say that you're just passing through TV 3. All right, and you looking out of the balcony, enjoying the wind, and you put 3 also. That's good. From 1 now you have gone to 3, and then all the other activities in terms of your breakfast. Now you have done your breakfast. Alhamdulillah, you have bought the eggs, the veggie, and the fruits and the tea. Alhamdulillah, now you're making up your breakfast, and your lunch also is good. All right. So, and I can see now you are taking a longer route to go to buy your food in a restaurant. That means you're going around the block a few times before you go. That's good already. Now you have about 20-25 minutes of exercise, which is very good. Okay, Alhamdulillah, now you're making very good progress, Pak Man. Yes, I'm making progress, but I still feel very depressed. I still feel that the world is useless, you know, no good. I don't know what to do. You know, just since my wife has passed away, I also feel like not living anymore, because I don't have anybody with me. All right, I see outside, you see this grandparent with their children walking, and you know, right in front there is a playground. I see a lot of older people, some in their 70s and 80s, holding the hands of their grandchildren, playing in the park. I feel very sad. Each time I see that, I feel very sad. I think that's in a way, we can understand that, because because you are lonely, you're all alone in the apartment, and you have nothing to do, and your grandchildren are far away, so they only come maybe once a year or twice a year, and I'm sure that kind of bonding will make you very happy. Just like I myself, I have my 8 grandchildren, and I bond with my grandchildren, and they give so wonderful life for me. That means I know I can feel your feeling of emptiness without your grandchildren, their love, their full wholesome playfulness, enjoyment, and so on. But there's one way to it, inshallah. If, as you see now, you're staring out of your balcony, why not you go down just across the other side? There's a little playground, there's a play area there, and you can see a lot of children and grandparents. Why not you just make friends with some of the grandparents? I know, because they are staying in the same block as you are here now. So I think, you know, you just can say hi to them and then sit down with them. And then maybe you can later on make friends with their grandchildren as they play around. That will give you a little smile. Maybe it's not the full smile that you get from your own grandchildren, but inshallah that would be something useful for you to do. You still can go on staring at surrounding and so on, looking at them, but you know, then you will feel more at home, and then you can strike some small conversation with those people. That seems to be a reasonable idea, but I feel very bad, because now when I look so sorry in my state, people may not want to talk to me because they think I'm mad or what. But man, I think you are normal. All of us go through depression. I myself will go through depression certain times in our life, but not for long. So inshallah, if you are consistent, now you're having breakfast, now you're going biking for a longer period, inshallah, I think over time, slow and steadily, by taking these little activities of your own, taking care of your nutrition, and I can see now you sleep well, because now you're waking up at 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. So that is good already. You are showing very good progress. And inshallah, over time, you would then be able to overcome your problem. So I think, inshallah, I can do that. I can go and meet some of the old people there. I know Pa Ali and Johnny, who is there with their grandchildren. I always see them up from my balcony, but I don't. You know, I envy them. So why not? Instead of you just staring out the balcony, have some fresh air. Go down to the play area, which is just only about 50 meters away from your place. Sit down with them in the evening at 6 o'clock. All right, you can adjust your dinner. That means if you want to have a late dinner or an early dinner. If you want to have a late dinner, you go down, sit down with them for half an hour at the park, all right, chit chat with them, and then make friends with their grandchildren. All right, some of them are quite naughty, so they can start playing with you, and so on. Just like my grandchildren would like to play catching with me, so I play catching with them, and I feel so happy. After 5 minutes, I'm lost, I'm really tired, but you can do that, that sounds quite okay juga. So what you do, you arrange your dinner, you have your dinner, say at 7 o'clock, at 6 o'clock you go down, and then at 6:30 you take your bicycle and drive around the neighborhood. You go around, you ride a bicycle around the neighborhood, exercise for 20-30 minutes, go to the restaurant, come back, have a shower and have your dinner. So in that way you will have a good sweat out and a good feelings, because the best way of overcoming feeling of sadness and depression is by exercise. Because when you exercise, you have this neurotransmitter serotonin that is in your brain. That this serotonin is so good. Allah has given this serotonin for us, so that when we have more serotonin after an exercise, we feel less depressed, inshallah. Oh, is that so? I didn't know. Yeah, if you want to know, then I can give you some idea of how this is going to be done, how the serotonin function and so on. I will do it after this counseling session. I give you the flow of how, if you eat well, if you sleep well, if you have nutritious food, and if you exercise by riding bicycle for half an hour a day, you will get out of depression without any medication. Because if you regress into a very severe depression, then we have to give you medication. And I understand you have already said you don't want any medication, so we are respecting your will. We are not giving you any medication. We are just using our positive Islamic cognitive behavior therapy approach. That sounds okay to me. All right. So, and I also see that you have made a call to Pak Amir. All right. The last session I told you that maybe you can go out with him. Maybe if he likes bicycling, you can cycle with him. Or you can, I see also, Mr. Johnny also cycles in the morning. Maybe you can get to know Mr. Johnny and have a half an hour cycle in the evening, which he may be willing to oblige with you. All right. And you have called Pak Amir, and what does he say? Well, he says now he is also interested in religion. He was like me. He never practiced Islam. But now, because he is already 70, so he feels that, he's already getting old. He feels that he wants to know about the religion of Islam. And he is practicing some of this. And he has a coach to coach him. Alhamdulillah, that's good. Why not, inshallah, in the future, if you are ready. Now, I'm not forcing you, but if you are ready to talk something about in terms of life, in terms of why we are on this earth, the meaning of this, our existence on this earth, why you must have some sort of thing for you to understand a little bit of Islam, I'm ever willing to coach you. So that will be separate from this counseling session. I give you some brochure, some pamphlet, and then we can discuss. And inshallah, from then on, you will be able to see the full spectrum of a good life on this earth. Because Allah wants you to have a good life. Allah doesn't want you to be depressed. Allah wants to give you happiness. And the way towards happiness is for us to acknowledge Him. So at the start, maybe, inshallah, I'll show you how to go about with it, with simple understanding of reflection, tafakkur, contemplation. Because as you look out of the window, staring out to the children, you're actually contemplating, you're actually meditating, but you don't realize. And that, alhamdulillah, has set you thinking. Yeah, I think so, but I'm not ready for it. So you don't push this idea to me, because I don't think so. I want to be involved like Pak Amir. Maybe he has a different view, but I'm always a happy-go-lucky fella. So, but now I'm not happy, but I think I can be happy-go-lucky without having this additional idea of the burden of, So I think the spiritual thing, you don't talk to me lah. Yes, Pak Man, I think we would avoid that, inshallah. And no problem. But I can see that you are already, why not you contact Pak Amir and then try to have your trip for fishing. And then I have contacted your children. They say they want to contact you, but you don't want to speak to them. Very difficult to say lah. Because now I know I need to talk to them. They also have tried many times, but I don't want to pick up their phone. So they feel very sad. But I want to teach them a lesson. Don't think that I'm just your father that you just can just don't care about. Well, I think they care about you. Only thing, maybe you feel depressed and you have this situation. They want to contact you. I've spoken to them. They say anytime when you are ready, they are willing to contact you. And maybe you set a time. And they're also willing to Skype with you, with their grandchildren. So because you miss your grandchildren, so their grandchildren also willing to talk to their tok pa, their grandfather. I think so. I will think about it, but maybe not now. Maybe next week or what, you can bring up this subject again. So I see that, Alhamdulillah, you have made a lot of progress. Why not in the next session, as we go along with this, you tell me what you want, and inshallah I will give you some more ideas of how you can be happy and lead a decent, happy retirement, and inshallah you will have all the blessings, the goodness, the happiness, the peace that every one of us require. I require peace and happiness. You also require peace and happiness. Let us work together, inshallah, to make ourselves good, to help others to be good and make the world good, inshallah.